What's up, fam? How's it going? It's Rachel Elizabeth, and you're watching Real Talk with Rach. I'm really excited about this week's video. I know that the last one was a little heavy and there have been some difficult topics, but this week we're going to talk about something that I believe everyone can relate to, and that is purpose. What is purpose? What is your purpose? What are we here for? And I was so motivated to talk about this because I've been in such a crazy season the last couple of years of kind of a redirecting of what I believe that I'm both supposed to do and want to do. It's made me really, I guess, confused in a lot of ways about what my purpose is, because if it wasn't the first thing, did I get it wrong? Or if what I do next isn't the same thing as it was, is it because I'm just now finding my purpose, or what does that all mean? So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what I believe purpose really is and talk about that a little bit. So first of all, the dictionary basically says that purpose is the reason you, a person, or something was created. And if we just think about that just for a second, you have to admit that anytime you felt like you didn't know what your purpose was, or you believed you were already in your purpose, you're living your purpose, you have to admit that based on that definition, you were created, which means that there was a creator. You didn't just happen, because if you just happened, you wouldn't have a purpose, because having a purpose means that you were created for a reason. Y'all know that I'm a Jesus girl, and I absolutely believe that every single one of us was made with intention for a purpose. But that said, what do you do when, like I already explained, you do one thing that you're super passionate about and then your life completely transitions into another direction, or even just little transitions, and you wonder where, how, what what do these things all have in common? How do I have one single purpose? I think that's a trick question, because I believe we have more than one purpose. I think we are all made intentionally, but I also think we are made with multiple purposes. For example, I definitely thought that I was going to be some sort of performer growing up, or artist, or even for a while I thought I was gonna be a veterinarian when I was really little. I told my mom that I wanted to be a vegetarian, but by that I meant veterinarian. It's a cute family moment. We're not gonna talk anymore about that. Anyway, moving on. As I got older, I realized that I really enjoyed anything artistic and creative, but I was also really passionate about performing and sports and all of that. When I went to college, actually right before I went to college, I was deciding between going to a state school and going to culinary school. So I wanted to be a chef. There are all these things that I wanted to do. Then when I got to college, I changed my major a couple of times because I wasn't sure. And then I ended up graduating with a degree in advertising and a minor in photography, but I ended up being a personal trainer and nutritionist and sports model. And that's what I've been doing for the last decade. So how do I have one purpose in that? It's really, really, really hard for me to believe that there wasn't purpose in performing as a child, that there wasn't purpose in me loving food so much that I wanted to be a chef. I can't believe that there was no purpose in me finishing school with a degree in advertising and studying photography, because all of those things have served different purposes in my life, even so far, and I believe they will continue to in the future. So I believe that we all have multiple purposes, and it's all about stepping out in faith, trying new things, following what you love to do, and not being afraid if you don't know what that looks like. There have been a lot of times in my life, especially recently, where I haven't known exactly what it is that I was pursuing. That required a whole lot of faith and a stretching of my faith, meaning it required times when I didn't feel like I had a lot of faith, but even though I didn't feel like it, my faith was growing. It took a lot of really hard things in my life that I had to go through for that faith to be tested and stretched and grown. And that's all thanks to God. But if I were to stick to what was comfortable, if I were to stick to what I knew without trying anything different, I never would have experienced half of the things that I've experienced on the positive side of life. And I truly believe that every single one of us was called to experience bigger and better and greater things, even if that is within a more quote unquote typical life path. What I mean by that is if you went to school or didn't, or you are a stay-at-home mom, or you're a world traveler, there's no greater or lesser. Every single person has a different life path. I don't think that any one of us, no matter where we are in life, was supposed to live in fear or live simply to be comfortable. This is so difficult to explain to a camera. If we were having a conversation, I'd be able to understand where you're coming from a little bit better and be able to explain what I mean a little bit better, especially because it's personal. It's different for every single person. But let me land on this. I believe that everyone has multiple purposes within a life purpose. So no matter what career path you're in, no matter what season of life you're in, whether you're in school or in a new marriage or even at the end of a marriage, whatever the situation, good or bad, you have to learn how to see it from a new perspective. There is purpose in everything. There's purpose in the good, there's purpose in the bad, there's lessons in everything, and sometimes we may not know what the purpose is in something that we've gone through or we're going through. Sometimes we might spend our entire lives not knowing. If you zoom out, there's so many people in history who lived their whole lives for some amazing purpose that they didn't even see transpire. But looking back, we can all benefit from that person's life because of the purpose their life served. I don't have an example right off the top of my head, but I know that there are or have been really prolific authors whose work was discovered after their death, where we are so much better as a people for their work. And that was an incredible life purpose. And I'm sure that their life touched so many people while they were living too, for a variety of purposes that we may not get to see or that some people can actually testify to. So as long as you are living, understanding that God is in control and He has great intentional purpose for you, and we are simply to trust Him, walk out in faith, try new things, love God, love each other, do good to others, you don't even have to know what your purpose is. If we're simply living each day as best we can, there is no way that you're gonna miss out on your purpose, no matter what. And guess what? Here's the beautiful thing about grace. When you are tethered to God in faith, you can never swing too far outside. You can never lose that. So even when you mess up, you're still not blowing it. You're still not messing up your purpose. God can use everything. So if you're finding yourself in a season like I was in when you have no idea what the next step is, please don't lose hope, because the next day is always full of more mercy. And the next day, tomorrow, always has more grace. And you're always gonna have enough grace to get through today too. I don't know what else to say except that I've experienced so many of these situations in my life, but most recently, just a few days ago, I experienced a newfound sense of direction. And I know that it's completely different than what I've been doing, but I know that there's purpose in it too. So I'm gonna chase it down, and I'll tell you what that is when I get a little more clarity on it. But just know that it's always going to be a journey. There's going to be peaks and there's going to be valleys, but there will always be peaks. So when you're in the valley, just keep going. There's purpose in everything. Keep living your life to glorify God, to live for other people, and just keep being grateful for every single step of the way, even when you can't see what it's doing in you and through you. I hope that was encouraging. I really want to hear from you. So if you have any questions or comments or thoughts on this, please comment below, and I will see you next week. If you guys like this, please check out my Patreon page and consider supporting the cause, which is going to fund everything that I'm doing and everything coming up. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that, even if it's just $1. So check that out. Here's a link. And if you like these videos, please subscribe so you don't miss another one. I make videos that come out every Wednesday. Please like and share, and I will see you soon. Bye, fam.